I'm so happy that y'all is here. And let's get into this topic for the day. And I'm gonna have my daughter here so y'all know and hopefully y'all can hear everything like that with the sound and things like that. But hi, welcome. Um Okay, so I'm gonna give y'all a few minutes to clock in, check in, hang out, however you wanna call it. But we start at 6 o'clock sharp. So y'all had any questions, anything like that in comments, now would it be the time? But I don't see anything, so we're gonna keep that in mind. So YouTube is something that we've been trying to grow. So if you're new, welcome, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Where we are is 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time in Ohio. So we're gonna say good evening. Alrighty, so this is today's glow ticket topic. Tips are going to revolve around thoughts on comedy challenges. So this is a challenge that I started maybe 2 months ago. Now, if I'm not mistaken, so the very first type of joke that well, not a comedy that I was looking after was a knock knock joke. A knock knock joke was something that I had used for Siri, which is an iPhone. So my iPhone lovers, if y'all have an iPhone, this one is for you. So what you do is you say, "Hey Siri, can you tell me a knock knock joke?" And it's just to keep us smiling. I'll give y'all some information. When I was doing a journal, I was journaling and I was trying to figure out, well, what's the purpose of constantly wanting to make sure that our life is just really revolving around comedy, so that way I can continuously feel like, okay, I just want to spend the rest of my life laughing, and comedy has helped me to do this. And so does knock knock jokes. So does my phone. My Siri is now an asset to allow myself to experience the backgrounds how they are, or the smiles how they are. When it comes to dealing with me, and particularly speaking, I love to smile. People always say that I have such a beautiful smile. I'm so beautiful and I'm pretty and things of that nature. So I like the smiles, because when I think about it, when I'm just being me myself, then I am allowing others to experience a smile through comedy as well. So I've become very reliant on comedies. Right now, I'll go through the TV screens on all the different apps, the Tubies, any things on the YouTubes that are free, and they say comedy, I will click on them and I will save them. I have a real live playlist that's strictly entitled comedies, and I'll try to link it in the description below if anybody's curious. And it can say comedy, action, adventure. It can say comedy, romance. It can just say comedy. I try to stay away from all of the type of ways that just strictly all say comedy, because I kind of feel like the all or nothing is not necessarily what this particular challenge is about. So as long as it has comedy somewhere in its genre, then I'm going to click on it. And let's say I'm short on time, or I'm not really able to figure out a quick comedy movie or a TV show. I did Bernie Mac and Everybody Hates Chris with Chris Rock, Rush Hour with Chris Tucker, Jackie Chan. I did not know that Jackie Chan actually was in so many films. He's had a very lucrative and long acting career. So shout out to Jackie Chan. And so if I'm ever short on time and I can't grab a movie or long binge for TV shows with all of the different seasons, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 different type of seasons, then I can always pull out my phone and go to Siri for my knock knock jokes. And that's only for iPhone users. People who consume Apple products like myself, with supply and demand. And so shout out to Steve Jobs. I want to say may have been an Apple guy, or is it Microsoft? It might be Bill Gates. Bill Gates might be Microsoft, and Steve Jobs might be the creative genius behind Apple. And God rest his soul, RIP. And so for those who may not have iPhones, then this other option is going to be something that's more up your alley. For you, Suze, if it was just me, then I have an email where they deliver jokes to, and I'll click on them and I'll actually make sure to giggle and laugh from there. So, next attractive trait is about smiling. Smiling deals with, again, the characteristics, and having jokes, having comedies and comedians and people who actually create these films and movies. I'm not a big indie film person. I'm not even sure what that crowd is or is about. I have no idea. I don't know. But I am grateful for those who can create a good comedy film. And I had to realize that it is about balance when it comes to dealing with what we consume. I hate to be a celebrity junkie. Like I know that I think I'm thinking J Lo was just in some kind of film and it was a horror or sci-fi or something. I'm like, no, but just because it's J Lo, people are like, oh, I gotta tune into it. But no, right now I don't have enough inclination to actually make myself sit down and watch a Jennifer Lopez film. And I hate to say this, but right now, because you got a big butt or your abs is tight or you on your second and third marriages or your kids is doing this or that, like none of that is something that's making me laugh. So it's really not of interest to what it is that I think about when I have meat on my brain. That's just my own thought. So that's never going to be something that you need to rely on just the latest celebrity status. You have to be mindful of me. Okay. So smiling is not in sci-fi. Smiling in sci-fi is not going to be something like you going to do for whatever else that's got something going on. Nope. Sci-fi is not is an into the O. So humor is definitely a soft win. And I'll say wins because how many times do you just see people and you wish that they smiled or laughed or gave you some kind of moment where you may have chosen that moment and picked laughter? That's rare. Not everybody wants to do that. And so when you have those rare lighted souls and people who can do those things, you're grateful for them. You realize now that they're so rare and few at this particular moment in time, you really are going to experience some of these comedies in a different light. But that takes much introspection, much reflection, because I had a young lady and I saw her recently in a film that was very close to what I thought about at this particular point in time. And it's the same thing. The differences there are very similar because without this entity, I mean, there's nothing there. So when we practice gratefulness for these entities, we place ourselves on a higher plane. We think higher now, highly of things enough to have this type of reflection. And that's why humor is able to experience such wins and not necessarily sci-fi or other genres. You have sci-fi, you have horror, you have drama, romance, action, and they just do not. They don't. They won't. They are not. They have not. They isn't. They aren't. They hold no torch to. They are not going to anytime soon. And you have to get comfortable with that. You have to learn that type of uncomfortable spirit is quite comforting. And that's what you do. That's where you go. And that's how you really focus on your comedy. You're challenging yourself to actually experience comedies, to actually laugh. You're challenging yourself to indulge in something that brings you joy. You are allowing yourself, me, to be happy in this moment of comedy because you choose to. That's me. That's what I want to do. Not because J Lo is making the biggest blockbuster hit. No, but me. Me is how you can kind of sort of confront whatever somebody else is saying through a comedy. When people are, I don't know, throwing the latest gig, do you run out or do you feel like, oh, okay, well, I didn't do my challenge for the day, so I'm gonna focus on that? Me, comedy. That's what I'm gonna do. And it's not about what they doing. If they got a problem with something like that, well, that was cool because I was really looking to laugh anyway. So that works out. In my world, when I'm thinking about me, this was right on time. This was something that was needing to have happened. This was something that proved that when I thought about me, that I had gotten the outcome that I was after. And now I'm content with that. And if you are understanding, great. Then maybe you can come and watch a comedy with me. And we can bond and sip mimosas or giggle until we blue in the face. And then that's how we build a rapport and a bond enough to scale as entrepreneurs. So that's all I got for y'all for the day. A very short day. Um, let's see. I don't think there's anything else in the comments. I'm not answering nothing else about panties. Hi, hello. Thanks for the hearts. Black Dora. Okay, I guess that's my hair you talking about. Water guns. I have no idea what that means. Squirts or whatever else. I don't know. Back at you. No more XL. I have no idea what this is. The fitness gram pacer test is a multi-shape, whatever, aerobatic test, aggressively time frame. Okay. So anyway, okay. Well, hopefully y'all having a good day. Um, yeah, but laugh, smile, bring joy to somebody else's life. And those are my glow ticket topic tips for y'all for the day. I love you. Have a great day. Bye.